Hi, we're here with Mike. He's a 2-year-old gelding. We've had him since he was a weanling. We bought him at the open box rafter ranch sale in Rapid City, South Dakota. And almost 2 years ago, he was a little guy who arrived on a truck. In about a month, we're going to be getting on his back. And I'm sort of looking at him critically to see what he might be like to start, to see how the groundwork I'm doing is going to translate and tell me about how he might ride. So we're going to listen to him. We're going to observe him. And then maybe in a later segment, we'll show what we do to address some of the things we might see. Now, I'm going to do a couple of real simple things with him. I'm going to see if he's responsive. I haven't done much with him for probably a week or more, but I want to be able to step here and move his back end out of the way without begging him. And when I move him, I want to move his whole body at this point. See, I want his whole body to step over because I think it's real useful to have your horse willing to step away from you. Real willing to step away from you. Step away. Move your whole body. Move your whole body. Don't need you to move forward. There you go. Just want to move him sideways. In a minute, we're going to move him forward. I will tell you, I do a lot of that and very little of a lunging equivalent. Partly because I don't necessarily think that lunging a young horse around and around is good for their legs. And also because if you get this right, the lunging part is going to come pretty easy. Now, I've just been chasing at him, and I just want to see if he can separate out my intentions and see that I'm not coming over here to threaten him. So I'm going to stand almost like I did when I was moving him and see if he can read me. What they know is they can read your intention. I mean, in a heartbeat, I can say, no, I changed my mind. And he'll get out of my way. But he should also not overreact when there's no intention there. So that tells me he's attentive. It tells me he's not going to be a problem with getting hyper or with getting dull. Those are two good things. You don't want either of those problems. It doesn't look like we're going to have them. You could get this colt scared and overreactive if you did too much with him. Because when you call on him, he's pretty good about doing what you ask. Now I'm going to move him around me. And this I do relatively little. And what I'm wanting to see is how he might be if I get on him and need to guide him. If I get on him and need to guide him, will he give his head? So right now, I'm going through a little sequence. Observe, analyze, and act. Right now, I'm just a camera. I'm just watching. What do I see? What do I see? Then I'm going to analyze what I do see. I'm going to look at the video in my head. And I'm going to say, he's paying attention. He's not pulling on me. He's not getting stiff. He's not trying to take the rein away from me, not trying to take the rope away from me. That's a good thing. What happens if I need to move his hip over? And he's pretty good about that. So I'm finding that he's not real resistant. Moves off easy enough. So what I haven't done, I think I've one other time moved him around. Now I was going the other direction. I want to observe one direction at a time. Well, I was just going to say I wanted to trot him. He sort of offered me that. I think he was responding more to a horsefly than he was to me. So I'm going to kind of step him up, see how he wants to be. See, he's a little more unsure to trot. That's not surprising, but he's not bad. He's not belligerent. He's a little confused. That's okay. They learn through confusion getting cleared up. And he's had a lot of that, so he overreacts with it a little bit. And what happens if we yield his hip? And that's pretty good. So we see some things we can work on, because I want to have that a little softer, a little nicer, little less troubled. So when I get on him, if I pick up on him and want to steer him, I can do that. Now, they got two sides, and a lot of times on these videos I'll work one side for illustration purposes, but this time I think we really want to watch both sides. So we're going to the left, and we're at camera again. We're observing what we've got. Stepping off on a nice brisk walk. He's a horse that can go somewhere, and I like that. He's not falling in, throwing a shoulder at me. He's not trying to pull away from me. But I do think he's a little more hesitant and unsure this way. Let's see if we can really check this and move him into a trot. So he's not being ugly this way, but I think he's a little more unsure. Wants to brace a little to the outside. He would kind of like to leave me this way. So what this is telling me is I got some things that I can work on to the left. The right's going to be okay. Without any remedial work, he needs a little bit of summer school to the left. Now, I've just been chasing him around. I want to see if he can separate. And I haven't chased him very aggressively, but this doesn't trouble him. Go over to the other side, see what it does over here. And I can hardly tell you how little of that I've done with him previously, because again, it's not something I get into, moving a horse around me a lot when they're young. Their legs are just forming. They need to learn to give to you more than they need to stampede around you. So that's what we're seeing. And what we'll do is we'll probably put up another segment that deals with that left brace and deals with a few other things about this horse to sort of follow up on what we've observed, analyzed. Now, we'll show you the action in later segments. Come back and watch them. Thanks.